Welcome to the ACPN Wellness Leadership Program. Welcome to the ACPN Wellness Leadership Program. Somebody who casts a vision, somebody who exemplifies a positive example. Leadership is working through others to achieve objectives. It could be leadership is the capacity to translate vision into reality. Leadership is unlocking people's potential to become better. John Maxwell says leadership is someone who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. At the end of the day, leadership is the ability to attract and motivate followers. Leaders take care of their health and nutrition. If we're going to be effective leaders, we need to realize that the example we set in all is that we're taking the time to educate ourselves about what nutrition is, what the best foods are, and how we can attain them. Sometimes leaders will take the time to educate themselves on the difference between simple carbohydrates and complex carbohydrates. Instead of reaching for a candy bar, a leader is going to reach for an apple or a banana. Instead of reaching for white bread, they're going to reach for cardiovascular exercise would involve running, cycling, swimming, rowing, burpees, jumping jacks. Leaders ensure that they are taking part in a regular exercise regimen so that they can run alongside. Well, a leader doesn't allow that excuse to take root. A leader recognizes that everything in life is battling for the same. All right, folks, let's talk about the 5 levels of leadership. Leadership author John Maxwell describes the 5 levels of leadership using these terms. The first level is position. The second level is relationships or permission. The third level is production, the ability to get results. The fourth level is people development. And the fifth level is personhood. Let's go through each one. Level number 1, position, is the lowest level of leadership. This is where beginning leaders believe that they derive their influence. Level of leadership, they're usually focused on politicking. They're usually focused on securing and maintaining that position. Leaders have a positive attitude. It's one of the most important characteristics of an exceptional leader. Positive attitude is an intellectual decision to look on the right side. What am I looking at, and what does this mean to me? Execute me. But the very last thing that I had control over was I got to choose my attitude under any given set of circumstances. It was the very last thing that I had control over. It's been many hours since you've had a bite. Have you noticed that you're a little crankier than normal when you haven't eaten and your blood sugar is low? My hand goes up on that one as well. What if you're in pain? What if you have a splitting migraine headache? What if you've broken your toe? What if you've hurt your back lifting something heavy? If you're in pain, you might notice that little tiny things that on a normal day wouldn't bother you seem to start to upset you more easily. What if you're going through a change of life? This could be something like puberty, as teenagers all of a sudden feel these tremendous emotional mood swings. It could be pregnancy. It could be you've got this wonderful gift on the way, but it's doing battle with your emotions as your body changes. It could also be menopause, as your body makes that life change, and the hormones in your brain are not what they normally are. And all of a sudden, this is causing some extra mood swings for you. That can certainly complicate your emotional response. And finally, what if there is a precipitating emotional event? What if you just got off the telephone? And now what we need to do is diagnose what our story is, and then step back and rewrite it. Now you're probably thinking about, oh, that's true, I am breathing right now. Well, we notice what we decide is significant to notice. want you to look around whatever room you're going to notice a Honda. And if you ask your brain to notice what is good, you're going to notice what is good. If leaders set goals. Stephen Covey says one of the things that's this compelling future. Goals allow us to predict the future in advance, particularly when they help us to become the best version of ourselves. Usually in the goal achieved is perhaps people have never been taught how to set a goal. I can tell you from my own experience that I received no formal education at any point in my scholastic career on how to set a goal. It simply was not part of the curriculum. I learned English, I learned mathematics, science, geography, and history, but there was no class that I was ever taught by a teacher on how to set and achieve a goal. So maybe the person has no idea how to do it. The second reason might be they don't know why they should do it. Maybe they've never heard information like this before. They don't realize they don't have a connecting line between the action and the result. They don't necessarily recognize the value. A third reason people may not set goals is because they might be in an organization or a peer group or a family who are not goal achievers. We tend to goals. They might be afraid. They might recognize it's valuable to do so, but they're scared. And so there's a couple things people might be scared of. First of all, one of the biggest things that people might be scared of is the fear of failure. Their internal dialogue might be, if I try to accomplish, might be a fear of success. They might be, again, SMART, S-M-A-R-T, stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time. The next thing that we want to do is make sure that the goal is achievable. So we've gone specific, measurable, and achievable. What does the achievable mean? Them stretch goals. The next factor is being relevant. So we've talked about specific, measurable, achievable, and now relevant. Goals are relevant. Finally, time-bound. So we've talked about specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and now time-bound. There's some other things we can do to make sure that we're on track. Well, we certainly want to map out a game plan for accomplishing the goal, writing down all of the specifics. Ask this question: what could go wrong? It's been my experience as we're achieving a goal, something always goes wrong. Something always pops up that was unexpected to throw us off track. Sometimes an error costs us ground, loses time, materials, relationships, and we need to account for that in our plan. And so a really good thing when we ask what could go wrong, first it allows us to think ahead and brainstorm our potential responses when those problems arise. I also believe it's a really good thing to leave in buffer time. If you've got something due on the 30th of the month, what I'm with, and have some accountability to that team, that they know what you're working on and that you've promised. I believe in setting little rewards. As you hit your milestones, reward yourself. Leaders know themselves and know their team. It's incredibly important in being an effective leader to understand the temperament and personality of yourself and all of your teammates. One of the most powerful frameworks for understanding temperaments is DISC, D-I-S-C. We certainly want to take the time to get to know people's names, their birthdays, special events, personal interests. But if you can understand the temperament of each of the people on your team and how it interacts with your temperament, you're going to have a much more effective impact on the people that you work with and lead. Let's dig into the DISC temperaments. First of all, I want you to think of two criteria: task and relationships. Some team, but of changing themselves. Here's the starting. Write down all the qualities that you'd like to see in your team. Write them all down. The ability to attract and motivate followers. Welcome to the ACPN Wellness Leadership Program.